Too early for tomatoes? Here's how to know for sure. Hey there, fellow gardening enthusiasts. I'm Pete, and welcome back to EcoAlchemy. Are you dreaming of sun-ripened, juicy tomatoes fresh from your garden? Then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the essential question for every tomato-loving gardener. When is the perfect time to plant your tomatoes outdoors? Before we get into the when, let's quickly touch on the why. Growing your own tomatoes is incredibly rewarding. Imagine the taste of a homegrown tomato, bursting with flavor, compared to the bland, store-bought kind. Plus, you control exactly what goes into your food, ensuring it's healthy and delicious. Planting tomatoes is not just a hobby. It's an investment in fresh, flavorful meals and a connection to nature. Whether you've nurtured your tomato seedlings indoors or picked up some promising plants from your local nursery, knowing when to transplant them into the great outdoors is crucial. Planting too early can expose your precious plants to damaging frost, while planting too late can mean a shortened growing season and a smaller harvest. Don't worry, we'll guide you through it. The secret to a successful tomato harvest lies in understanding your local climate, your USDA growing zone, and paying close attention to the environmental cues around you. In this guide, we'll break down exactly how to determine the ideal transplant time for your tomatoes, no matter where you're gardening. Let's get started. Here's the most important thing to remember. Tomatoes are warm weather crops through and through. They absolutely despise the cold. Even a single chilly night where temperatures dip below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius can severely stunt their growth or, in the worst-case scenario, kill them outright. Your primary mission is to identify your region's average last frost date. This is the historical average date of the last frost in your area. You want to wait until after this date to plant your tomatoes. Ideally, you should wait until nighttime temperatures are consistently above 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius, and your soil has warmed up to at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. Let's break down the general planting times based on USDA plant hardiness zones. Keep in mind that these are just guidelines, and your specific microclimate might influence the best time to plant. Zone 5 or below. Patience is key. Usually, you'll want to wait until mid to late May, or even early June in particularly cool microclimates. It's better to be safe than sorry. Zone 6. Mid-May is generally a safe bet, but keep a close eye on the forecast for any unexpected cold snaps. Be prepared to cover your plants if necessary. Zone 7. Late April to early May is typically the sweet spot. The weather is usually warming up nicely by this time. Zone 8. Gardeners in Zone 8 can often transplant their tomatoes by mid-April. Enjoy the earlier start. Zone 9 and 10. You lucky gardeners might already have your tomatoes happily growing in the ground. Your warm climate allows for a longer growing season. While air temperature is important, soil temperature is equally crucial. Tomato roots are sensitive to cold soil. If the soil temperature is below 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 to 15 degrees Celsius, your tomato plants will likely just sit there, refusing to grow. In severe cases, they might even rot. Invest in a soil thermometer for accurate readings. If you don't have one, you can use the bare hand test. Simply touch the soil with your bare hand. If it still feels cold to the touch, it's probably not warm enough for your tomatoes yet. Even if the weather is warming up nicely, you can't just take your indoor-started tomato seedlings and immediately plant them outside. This can cause a significant shock to the plants. You need to harden them off first. Hardening off is the process of gradually introducing your seedlings to outdoor conditions over a period of 7 to 10 days. Start by placing them outside in a sheltered location with filtered sunlight for just a couple of hours each day. Gradually increase the amount of time they spend outdoors and the amount of direct sunlight they receive. This helps them acclimate to the wind, sun, and temperature fluctuations, preventing sunburn, wind shock, and transplant stress. Don't rely solely on the calendar or your growing zone. Pay close attention to the weather forecast. Look for at least a 7-day stretch of mild weather with no cold nights, strong winds, or heavy rain in the forecast. Transplanting during a calm, mild period will give your tomatoes the best possible chance to settle in and thrive. Avoid planting right before a storm or a cold front. When you finally transplant your tomatoes, bury them deep. Tomatoes have the unique ability to grow roots all along their buried stem. This creates a stronger, more extensive root system, leading to a healthier and more productive plant. Remove the lower leaves from the seedling and plant it halfway up the stem. This will encourage the development of new roots along the buried portion of the stem. Give each tomato plant ample space to grow. Aim for at least 18 to 24 inches, 45 to 60 centimeters, of space between plants to allow for good airflow and future growth. Proper spacing helps prevent disease and ensures that each plant gets enough sunlight. Be cautious with fertilizer at transplanting time. A small amount of compost or a balanced organic fertilizer is fine, but avoid over-fertilizing, especially with nitrogen. Too much nitrogen early on can lead to excessive leaf growth at the expense of fruit production. Save the heavy feeding for when the plants start flowering. If you're planting right on the edge of your frost date, or if you just want some extra peace of mind, use row covers, cold frames, or even overturned buckets to protect your young tomato plants at night. These simple covers will insulate the plants and protect them from frost. You can also pre-warm the soil before planting by covering it with black plastic or mulch. This will help raise the soil temperature and create a more favorable environment for your tomato plants. Let's recap the key steps to ensure a successful tomato transplant. Know your zone and your average last frost date. Make sure nighttime temps stay above 50 degrees Fahrenheit 10 degrees Celsius, and the soil is consistently warm, at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit 15 degrees Celsius before planting. Harden off your seedlings gradually. Choose a calm, mild weather window to transplant. Plant deep, water well, and don't over-fertilize too soon. By following these simple steps, you'll give your tomato plants the strong start they need for a season filled with delicious, homegrown tomatoes. Remember, gardening is a learning process, so don't be afraid to experiment and adapt to your local conditions. Now, I want to hear from you. What growing zone are you in, and when do you typically plant your tomatoes? Share your experiences and tips in the comments below. And if you're new to EcoAlchemy, welcome. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gardening tips, tricks, and inspiration. We're building a comprehensive gardening resource right here, and we'd love for you to join our community. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video.